The outspoken former Defence Minister Mosiuoa Lekota, who is at the forefront of the historical breakaway party from the ANC, is expected to announce his plans in Bloemfontein next week. Lekota joined 5FM DJ Gareth Cliff in studio on Tuesday to discuss his dissatisfaction with the ruling party and his reasons for the breakaway.
What caused you to become vocal and to leave the ANC the way you have, to have taken this debate into the public arena? What happened here? I mean, a lot of us are still confused.
Well, first of all, in the build-up to the conference, national conference, there are a number of issues that I tried to raise, which I felt represented unacceptable practices inside of the African National Congress. Like for instance, the singing of songs which advocated war at a time when the organization had like this Moshinuwa, like that song, especially that song, because that is a song that calls for weapons, that advocates a mood contrary to the policy positions of the ANC, that we have now negotiated settlement, we want peace, we want national reconciliation of the people of South Africa, we want a better life for the people. As long as men and women walk the globe, there will always be the struggle between good and bad. There will always be challenges that require men and women of conscience to rise up, to say no to what is not right, indeed to take risks that are necessary, because it's an unending process of life. And when you get tired is when you give in. And then, of course, you become victim of those circumstances. Now, I don't think that those of us who've been freedom fighters must think that there's a time to stop. We'll stop the day we go into our graves. But as long as we are alive, we must continue and insist on saying to the people of our country, this is right, that is wrong.
Cliff is an avid follower of politics. He says it's time for the youth of South Africa to take a more active stance in our democracy.
I think this is exciting to anyone, whether they support Mosiuoa Lekota and his splinter group or whether they support any other party, even the ANC. What they've got to admit is that this is not about divisiveness and people who are just standing up and taking each other on things that don't matter. This is hugely important because finally we have someone who, and some people, in fact, because Angie Motshekgas and others have raised their voices as well, some people who have real credibility for the majority of South Africans, who are saying things that I think a lot of people, whether they were part of what happened at Polokwane or not, feel. And that is helpful to the political process, no matter who you support. I think young people too often in South Africa feel that politics is something that old people do and that they take care of and that we're not part of. And that's the most dangerous thing you could possibly do. That's where people like Malema take over, because they are the only young people who are voicing their opinions. Your voice counts just as much as his. He may be president of the ANC Youth League. He may even have some good points every now and then. He may make sense on the rare occasion. But chances are pretty good that your opinion counts as much as his, and that your opinion might be just as sensible and perhaps even more valuable, and that you might contribute in a more powerful way. We have to take part in the institutions of our democracy. We have an election next year. Any young person who listens to my show, I'm going to harp on this day in and day out, we have to have our IDs. We have to be registered to vote. We have to go to the polls. We get a day off to go to the polls. We have to vote. This history of this country is based on that cross that you make.
Lekota also bit back at remarks made by ANC Womens League President Angie Motshekgas earlier this week, when she said that the dogs had now left the ruling party. Lekota said he is seeking legal advice.
Whilst I accept the right to criticize us, I don't think calling us dogs is exactly permissible. I demand that they must call a press conference to withdraw that characterization of us as dogs and to apologize unconditionally. That will be enough. If they don't, we reserve the right to approach the court and ask for relief, because it is absolutely unacceptable that they should act in this way. We will never call them names. We will always talk to the issues of principles that are involved. That's what we will do. They are free to attack our persons, but not to that extent. That is beyond.